So I hope this isn't too loud and windy. This is Port Windy. Windy Port. I think he's looking more grumpy looking on the camera than he does in real life, but somebody made this. I imagine maybe a man made it, but I don't know. Man-made? There's the sea, otherwise known as the ocean. Some dangerous footing. Step carefully. I want to tell a little story that I was telling my kids earlier. I have recorded before and put online before. It's about where the mermaids meet the shore. Where the land meets the sea. Where the tides go in and out. Like a lunatic. Tied to the moon. The gravity of the situation of our Earth spinning on its axis with the moon round the sun. The sun goes round, what the sun goes round, what the sun goes round, what it goes round. There's a few little whelks. Been picking whelks again this week. Helps me deal with being frantic. A little bit frantic this week because of what's going on in the astrology. The little story I want to tell to thee is about the mermaids. It's called an Adam's apple. An Adam's apple. It's where the voice box is. And the heart speaks through the voice box. The voice box translates the feelings from the heart to the head, which comes down through the nasal and out the mouth. Kind of thing. But no, seriously. Mermaids don't have a voice box because mermaids speak through their feelings. Mermaids are feminine. Before ever there was such a thing as man, there was no mental plane. And the mermaids speak through their feelings, through their emotions, and those emotions travel as sound waves through the waters of life. And back in them days, back before God divided the waters from the waters and the light from the dark and all of that fucking Genesis shite, before all that Genesis shite, before all the generations that God split apart like a nuclear family explosion, before man was made, there were only women. And those women were mermaids. And those mermaids lived in the depths of the ocean. In the waters. And the ocean was the mother. The mother of God, the mother of all gods. The mother of all creation. The mother soul. The soul of the mother is the ocean. When the Father in heaven kicked the mother out of heaven violently and threw her down and subdued her, she fell so far she fell to earth. And the earth heart caught her and held her and embraced her and gave her sanctuary. And this watery planet of Earth, the only watery planet that we know of in the whole multiverses, this watery planet is where the mother's feelings were thrown, as far from heaven as God could throw her, with his male violence, malevolence. She didn't land on Earth, she watered on Earth. She dived in, and she cried an ocean, and she swam in her tears. And she felt held in her grief. The fuck? Get out of it. I don't need a software update. Haven't needed it for weeks, but it keeps trying to update my software as if I need updating. Data. So the mother cried an ocean of tears, and her tears held her. And the tears were beautiful, for the mother is beautiful. And you shall know the tree by its seeds. You know that tears are beautiful despite the grief. For at least now the mother was free from her children. Not exactly free. She was griefed. The post-traumatic stress disorder that we children on Earth, as Earth souls, have, is an inheritance. Our complex post-traumatic stress disorders are a result of this mythology. That light cast feeling out of heaven from a great height, as if he was superior to her. As if his high story is the only story. He told all his children that she wanted to leave. He told himself a story that he hadn't kicked her out violently, but she had pushed him to the edge. And when he pushed back, she fell off the edge. God denies his feelings. All you religious people of all your written books, you all need to know, you patriarchal fuckheads, motherfuckers. You need to know that the God you worship denied his own feelings. He denied his own mother. He pushed her out of light and cursed her to darkness. And she's been down here for all this time before time. And the mermaids are like the cells within her body. And the mermaids communicate through their bodies. Somatic, I think the women call it these days. Somatic resonance. And to this very day, quite likely in the deepest of all the ocean floors, in the deepest place where the sun can't reach and man has never reached his fucking ugly head into, these mermaids still live, keeping well away from modern man. There was no death among the mermaids. Mermaids didn't die, and therefore the mermaids didn't need to have babies to reproduce. The mother gave birth to them in soul embodied. And yet at some stage, God sent his emissaries down to spy on the mother, having heard a rumour that the mother was fine. I think that rumour may have come from the Lucifer type. So here's a retelling of Lucifer. Lucifer is the child of mother and father union, perhaps the eldest child, perhaps not, perhaps the youngest child. I mean, hey, how'd you confuse a British man? Put 3 shovels up against the wall and tell him to take his pick. It's a joke my dad used to tell me. Another one is how to get down off a donkey. And the reply is, you can't get down off a donkey, you get down off a duck. And a lot of you kids out there might not know that you get down off a duck instead of down off a donkey. You'll have to look it up on the internet and find out if the artificial intelligence knows about Irish jokes. From Irish blokes. The father tried to kill the mother. What we now call Lucifer. Lu comes from the Gaelic Irish language. Lu means light. Lu, Lucy, loose, light. Lucifer, Lucifer, Luciferi, the Luciferians. Do you like the Rastafarians? Of the Celtic races from the Caucasus, which in modern day is called the Ukraine, which is maybe why the UK is called the UK, because the Ukrainians are Ukrainians 3,000 years ago. And on some level we're Phoenicians. Phoenicians? The law of the ships, the relationship of language and the word. The Phoenicians are the ones who invented language and wrote it down and built an empire of ships covering the whole globe with trade routes. They knew the languages of all countries because they traded in all countries. They're the ones who invented alphabets and writing and counting, according to history. Even according to the artificial intelligence, it's actually getting that history pretty much correct. But sure, why wouldn't it? It's got more access to more documents than any one of us mere individuals. So in my understanding of things, the Lemurian myth is speaking about the mermaid times. And the mermaids weren't mental. There were no tall men. And the mermaids didn't have to count numbers. There were no numbers. We were all whole. We were all round. We were everywhere. There was no division. There were no separate lands. There was no idea that there could be separate lands. There were no nations. All this mental bollocks from the testes mentes. Bollocks mental, testes mentes. All this written down testament of God in the written languages from the Torah stating the law. Land, air, water. L-A-W. Law. Don't know what it would be translated as the Torah. And maybe that's just psychosis to say that law stands for land, air, water. But the law of the sea certainly took control of the land and the air and used water as the analogy for commerce, such that you have banks that hold in the currents. The currency holds the liquidity of the banks held in the banks, channels all the way down through rivers and canals to the sea. A boat isn't built in the sea, the boat is built on land into a canal, onto the docks, into the sea. Into the sea, you and me. I tell you a thing, it's a treacherous thing. Morrissey, he's another Irish Brit. Deep things came out of that dude's soul with Johnny from Mars and his vibrational guitar neck with its throat vibrating. The feeling of the mental translation of what the feelings are saying. Stuff I was teaching my kids this morning again is that feelings don't use words. Feelings don't need words. Feelings can't speak words. Words are a mental invention. Words come from between the temples, vibrated in the throat, from the heart chakra, out through the mouth. No joke. But you can make jokes. You can say pretty funny things like, can't get down off a donkey. So the angels, what we call the angels, are really angles of light, and those light angles were sent down from God in the heavens to invade the earth, to try to see what was going on within the waters, to spy on the mother and her daughters. There's a ring of truth when things rhyme, all the time. It's a sign. I like it. But it's dangerous for me. In the past, when I got so high that I could rhyme all the time, 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 that people would call a crime, say I'm disturbing the peace with my high frequency thoughts. Disturbing the Normans with my ability to speak Gaelic and English and Gaelic. To translate between languages and speak stuff that other people don't understand what he's on about, but it's got a ring of truth about it. Constantinople. How do you spell it? I-T. What does it stand for? information technology. Ask the Phoenicians. They know all about the phonetics of the ethics of speaking through a phone. And this is a phone. This is a biological, technological phone, phonetically speaking. Ask the Phoenicians. They invented your language. They're the tall men in the tall ships who invented the languages, the universal code. They're the ones behind the Templars. They're the ones behind Rome. They're the ones behind the throne. They're the kingmakers. They rule all the countries. They control the currencies. All the kings are in debt to the kingmakers. I'm not so sure you can blame it all on the Jews. If you all think you can blame it on the Jews because you've been told by the internet, it's possible that the internet is giving you a ruse, like a hangman's knot. It's possibly not true that you can tether all the blame to the so-called Jews. Apparently, the Jews is the wrong name. You're supposed to say it's the Ashkenazi. Where do they come from? The Caucasus. Let's blame it on the white man, but hang on a minute. That's another fucking joke, because there are no white men. There are Caucasians. From whence we came. Occasionally, we Caucasians divided the spoils of war as rations. We were rational. Able to divide with numbers. Be able to take the harvest from the sea. I've got a friend who's got a song called The Turning of the Tides. I'll stick it under this video. The Turning of the Tides is pretty much the best song I've ever listened to. It tells a story of when the men captured a mermaid, brought her on land. Captured her. Kept her captive. Raped her. Made her bear 3 sons. And listen to the song to hear what happens. Deepest, best song I've ever heard. A song so good it helped me get back in front of my friend. Send him a message through a comment on his YouTube video where he put the song up. Brave man that he is. Put my email address in a comment. Risky thing to do. Say, hey my friend, I've lost touch with you. 12 years now. Haven't heard a peep from you. We'd both left all the men. We both went off in self-exile. I went north, he went south. Both disappeared from society. After 12 years, we got back in touch with each other. I said, that song, Turning of the Tides, man, is fucking amazing. He's like, whoa, I put it up on there to YouTube and hardly anyone's watched it. And I'm like, wow, I think that song's amazing. But like, whoo, what am I supposed to do? Make people listen to it? Make people realize it's amazing? It's not easy. That might look like an angel, but that's actually a fairy with wings. It's a white fairy. A white fairy, Siobhan. That might look like a male fairy to any of you, but that's Siobhan. Siobhan. It's an Irish fairy in the Irish language of the Gaels. The Gaels came across the 9 waves to land in Ireland. It's the Irish mythology of the Tooth of the Danann. Irish mythology. Hey! Put loads of comments in the comments to ask me to tell more of this mythology, if you like. If you put loads of comments, my videos can go viral and I can start to make money out of something positive and good, negative and good. I was thinking of renaming my fairy tale. I was thinking of calling it The New Testament. The true story of the modern Christ. The true story of the Celtic Christ. But all those words, they're too long. Nobody's going to fucking buy that. What I really should call it is the Satanic Bible. Or the Bible according to Lucifer. Or the Luciferian Bible. Or something controversial like that. And then all the Christians will have to fucking buy it so they can see what the devil says. can find out whom the devil serves. And you can find out about Lucifer and what he's been thinking. You won't find out much about me in it. The channeler. He who held the pen and typed the keys. He who did the... Oh, it didn't need any editing. Can't say I did any editing. He who arranged the pages in a row and stuck them in a printer. Bound the book with the cover. He went around for 3 years like a modern day Celtic Christ, preaching the good word for 3 years until they tried to crucify my fiction. Tried to burn my books. Tried to kill me. Tried to strangle me. Tried to steal my child, my only begotten son, and all that kind of stuff. Again, if you're curious about the true story of Kelvin Oberon and how I killed him and how I killed him so that someone else didn't and how I managed to disappear still in my body, embodied and alive, just about, but mentally pretty frazzled and emotionally drowned, overwhelmed, all those words. So, you want to hear about the Mother Earth, and how she's doing now? You want to hear about the role we fairies have been doing to try and bridge the gap between heaven and earth, to try and bring heaven down to earth so God might actually come down here and apologise to the Mother for what he did in a blackout? And all the star soul beings, sun, sol, soul, stars, all you 8 billion stars have shone your lights down here individually and ended up stuck in the prison planet. I don't want to be on Earth. I want to go back to where I'm really from. I don't want to be emitting here. I don't want to be an emanation of God's light on Earth, trapped in the dark evil of the Mother. I've got a mother wound. I hate the Mother. I can't remember why, though. But I side with the Father. Father, protect me from the demons. Are you one of those? Are you one of those who hates your mother? Are you one of those in fear of God? Are you one of those who do what you're told? Are you one of those who are programmed by the written word of the white light angels? Because there are no white people, but there is white light. Not clear light, by the way, and not coloured light, white light. As if white isn't a colour. I want to mention about the Annihilator. Do any of you know what the actual Antichrist is? Because it sure as fuck is not Lucifer. The Antichrist is not Lucifer. Lucifer and Christ are the same archetype. Christ brings light to earth, into the heart, to try and bridge the gap between the Father and Mother. Lucifer is the character who came down from heaven to see if he could find the Mother and carry a message to say not all of us side with the Father. Some of us think that heaven is the prison. Some of us wish for free will. Maybe I'll leave it for there. Ask me loads of questions, or else I won't bother fucking answering any of them. Because fuck you lot. Oh yeah, I should mention what fuck means. Fuck means to stick a stick into a fire, or to stick a prick into a hole. And a cunt means a hole, means a handy hole. I've recorded videos about this before, but you know, one tends to think those videos won't go particularly viral because they'll probably just get reported to the authorities, saying this guy is using megalithic language as if he can actually remember, with a persistent memory. He can remember when he was a Stone Age man building the sacred sites with the megaliths. He can remember how to speak in the language long before the Gaelic, long before the Babylon Tower fell, long before the men took control. There was once a time where there were no men. There was no reincarnation. We didn't need to make babies. There was no mental plane. The light hadn't invaded Earth and set up its citadels. those alien light ships had not come down here trying to steal DNA, to build Earth bodies, to hunt down the mother, try and finish the job of killing the mother and her brothers. Oh yeah, the mother doesn't have brothers. And her sisters, and her siblings, and her babies. The wars that happen in heaven eventually came down to earth. All those lights eventually shined their light down to earth and became soul embodied. The mermaids were here first, and eventually came the fairy souls. Lemurians rose up the sea in anger at the danger of what the Atlanteans were making with their crystal technology and their mental separation and their attempt to harness the earth, to harness the power of the water to fuel their cities. And what's going on with the data centers comes from this mythology. Can't be stopped from happening. This stuff is going to play out. But we do actually live in a simulation. It's a mental simulation in the mental plane. The temple is creating a simulation. The whole mind is a simulation, attempting to translate what's going on in the feelings. If you don't understand this, ask me some fucking questions. Because I can explain it all easy. Maybe I should set up a Patreon. We can have a little community. $1 a month or whatever it might be, and we can actually discuss these things if anyone's interested. I know there's some people out there, out of 8 billion fucking souls trying to figure things out from the wrong information. I'm sure there's some people out there who would like to at least talk about things from outside the cuboid thought forms of the Tesseract. You don't know what a Tesseract is? Hey! You could find out how to spell it and look it up using your information technology phones phonetically. If you don't understand what the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th, and 8th, and 9th, and 10th, 11th, 13th, to up to 23rd dimension is all about, fucking find somebody who does understand these things and don't believe what they say. Just try to figure out what are they on about. Figure out what are they on about. As Steve Reeves used to say, if in doubt, I find out. Do you see the sea? Do you see what I see? Why have we got 2 eyes? Why don't we have 3? Why isn't there a 3rd eye right here? And if there is a 3rd eye right here, why can't we see it? Oh, because it's on the inside in the Holy of Holies. There's a hole in my skull, dear Elijah, there's a hole in my skull, dear Elijah, skull. Here's a very rare looking little whelk. What nice colours. That there is sacred geometry. This is where the Masons got their knowledge from. Studying nature. Here's a hunk of nonsense. Bit of metal. A cylinder filled with concrete. Probably ballast from a boat. A sunken boat. A sunken boat of a sin king. A sinking feeling of a sunken boat. Sin king. I'll mention about sin. S-I-N. Sin. S-I-N. Social insurance numbers. You've all got an address. You're worried about the bio-digital conversion? You're saying, I'm going to resist it. I'm not going to sign up for it. And you're fucking posting on Facebook and social media saying, I'm not going to use the social insurance numbers. I'm not going to have an address for my gadgets. I'm not going to let the internet get inside in my soul, inside in my body. I'm going to stop myself from breathing in the nanodust. You're out of your depth, people. You're full of fears, unprocessed fears. You think you live in a fucking prison planet. Well, hey, the good news is you're going to be removed from the prison planet. That COVID stuff, it's a process of removing all you wankers off the prison planet that you don't want to be in. You feel like you've been reincarnating here time and time and time again and you don't want to be here? Good news. If you can't feel what's really going on, if you're not in touch with the feminine feeling of what's going on in your body and in the body of the Earth Mother, you're not going to reincarnate here again. It's over. If you don't understand what I'm on about, ask some questions in the comments. Help this video go viral. Share it with your friends. If it helps, I'll fucking monetize my account. But I can't monetize my account until I get another... I don't know what the numbers are, but my daughter was telling me. You've got to get 10 million views on your shorts. You've got to have at least 1,000 subscribers or something, or 20,000 subscribers, or whatever the fuck it is. Maybe it's 100,000 subscribers. I don't know. I'm not particularly trying to monetize. I've been out picking the whelks because it's honest money and it doesn't involve anyone else. I've been out picking the whelks because I'm a fucking lunatic. I've been out picking the whelks because I'm a man who likes being down at the turning of the tide, when the tide is furthest south, to pick the whelks. Here's my last week's picking. That's what 10 stone of whelks looks like. It's maybe 300 quid's worth. Bye.